Hello everybody, I hope that all of you are doing super well, and while you watch some combos and matches from the second beta, I want to talk about 8 changes that I would do to Fatal Fury City of the Wolves and how these changes would make it basically a better product. These changes could be made before launch or during Season 1. Ideally, I think that all of them would be really impactful, so hopefully at least some of them happen, and let's start with it. Let's start with what would be for me my biggest complaint about this game. It is technically not something huge, but to me it is big, okay? And that is the rank system or the rank point system. And in both betas for this game, when you play rank, you basically have your rank attached to you as a player or to your profile. And I don't like that at all. Because, for example, if I get to A5 rank with Rock or Terry, which are the characters that I played in this beta, and then I want to change. I want to, for example, try and learn Vox Reaper. I'm still at the same rank that I got playing the other characters that I already know how to play really well. So I really hate that. One of the things that I love the most about Tekken 8, about Street Fighter 6, is that you have rank points attached to each character independently, which means that you can get to a very high rank with a character that you know how to play very well, and then you want to learn something new and you start all over. You maybe have, a certain rank at the base level because you have a general, knowledge about the game, but still you're not at the same rank that you are with your other character in which you're maybe an expert. And I really hate that this game has this problem. I really hope that during Season 1 or before launch even, it would be even better, we can basically get to have independent ranks, for each character. To me, it does a lot, it gives a ton of replayability to fighting games because I generally tend to play a ton of characters. I don't really become like an extreme expert of only one, I like to play the whole roster if I can. It's something that I love to do with any fighting game. And I really want to do the same thing with this game because there's a lot of characters that I want to play. And I don't want to learn a new character and be, a A5 or S or whatever and basically get smoked every time that I want to learn something new. So please, SNK, change this and give us independent rank points for each character in the game. Then for number 2, I have something that I don't really mind personally, but I know that a ton of people in the community basically hate it, and these are the negative edge logic that the menus have and also the size of the fonts, okay? A ton of people online have said that they hate that the font size on the menus, it's so little, they want it to be bigger, and some people that have trouble seeing well actually have problems navigating the menus. So hopefully, they make the fonts bigger. And the other thing is, of course, the negative edge on the menus. A ton of people say that it makes the game feel like clunky and cheap, and they hate it. It's not comfortable to navigate the menus because of the negative edge on them. So at least I hope that SNK fixes this like before launch. I would take this as a priority actually, because a ton of people are basically saying like, I'm not gonna play this game only because of this, and I don't agree with that. Personally, I don't think that it is that relevant, but I want this game to do good, so it doesn't mind what I think. What matters is what most people or what a ton of people think, and they don't like the menus. So hopefully they fix them so people can be happy and give this game a try, because it deserves your money, I think, personally, because the gameplay is so good. So let's just pray that they change all the menu, fiasco in the game. Then as third, we have another thing that I took from the community also, but that I actually agree with, and that is the problem with room matches. Getting into room matches is kind of a struggle. The process is way too long, and specifically I personally think that the problem is related to the room match ID. Like when you want to invite someone to get into a room match, if they are not your friend in the game, which is also a pretty tedious process, you have to give them the ID of the room, and the ID is like, I don't know, like 10-12 digits. It's ridiculous. It could be just 4 or 3, Hopefully they change that or how that works, because it is very tedious. It is a detail, It's, again, for me, it wouldn't be something or a reason to not buy the game, not at all. But it would be good if they change it. It makes the game better overall. So if they can change the room match ID for something shorter, I would personally really appreciate it. Number 4 and upwards, we have more stuff, but it's not really changes. They are more like additions to the game. And the first thing is that I would love for this game to have an alternative mode in which you can play like team battle or tag mode without assists or anything, just following like the logic of KOF. I think that this game has a really nice roster, and I would be very happy to play 2 or 3 characters in one fight. I think that it would be very fun. So hopefully in the future, probably not at the start, but like Season 2 maybe or something like that, we can get team battles or tag mode and play it online and everything. I would have a ton of fun, playing, I don't know, like Rock, Terry, and Marco, for example, on a team. I think that it would be immensely fun, and the game is actually not that hard in terms of like the move set. for characters. The game is hard because of defensive execution, you know, and optimization and neutral, but it's not really that hard to play a character and to pick it up. So it would make a lot of sense to have team battle on a game like this, because you can just pick a character that is easy and learn how to play it very quickly. So you don't need to be, you know, a surgeon to basically learn how to play 2 or 3 characters, like what happens, for example, on Tekken Tag, for example. So I think that it would be a great idea and a great addition to this game to have some sort of tag or team battle mode, 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 3, whatever fits the game best. It will be very, very fun. Then for number 5, something that I would love to see in fighting games that is actually not present at all, and that is to have ranked season with cosmetic rewards. A ton of free, you know, like online games like Marvel Rivals, for example, have free cosmetics when you get into a certain rank on a season, you know, or stuff like that. And I think that it would be very fun to have that on a game like Fatal Fury. You know, you play and maybe, okay, you got to A rank, so since you got to A rank, you get this, you know, new color for Rock and Terry, or you get this new classic costume for whatever character. I think that it would be very fun to have that type of reward for rank play on fighting games, because nowadays, or you know, since always, basically, playing rank on fighting games is related to just getting a certain rank and almost like showing off that you're on that rank in many ways, and basically saying like, oh, I got to this high rank, I'm so good at the game. Yeah, whatever, but if we got, you know, some rewards, I think that it would be very, very fun to play for those rewards, especially if they are nice colors or nice skins. I would like it a lot, so it would be very nice to get, you know, some cosmetic rewards for multiple seasons and stuff like that on rank in the game. Then for number 7, I would personally love to have more alternate costumes. You know, like for example, Terry is gonna have his classic costume in this game. I don't remember if there's like a paywall behind it, but still, the character has a classic costume or an alternate costume, and I would love to have that for almost every character in this game. You know, it would be very fun to have more costumes, more colors. I think that generally that gives fighting games like a nice detail. You know, you can customize your character whatever way you want and how they look. It makes games more fun. You know, it's the devil is in the details at the end of the day with most games, especially when you play them a ton online. Having a ton of costumes and colors gives games like a sense of basically novelty when you play the game, even though you've been playing the game a ton. So I would love if they add some alternate costumes to the game for basically everyone in the roster. And finally, for number 8, this is something very relevant, and I think that it needs to happen, and that is basically that we need for SNK to keep having an open communication with the community. A lot of the reasons why the second beta was so much better and why netcode got fixed, you know, matchmaking got fixed, was basically because SNK heard the community. You know, we got our complaints online through videos, through Twitter, whatever you want to say that you used to express what was wrong with the game, and the game now is much better. And this needs to stay this way, okay? This is the way in which the game needs to be at launch and basically going forward, you know, until the game dies. Like, we need to have open and direct communication with the devs so that everyone can basically say what is wrong with the game and the game can be a better product overall. So hopefully they keep this dynamic until the end of the game. I think that it will be very, very healthy. First, for basically any video game that is played online, you know, and have a season system or whatever, but for fighting games it is also very relevant. If not, just go ahead and look, you know, at the Tekken 8 community that is basically crying now because Season 2 is like a shit show. So, yeah. Let's see what happens with the game. Hopefully it has a very, very successful launch and the game does very well, so SNK can keep making amazing fighting games. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing, and leave a comment. What do you think are other changes that you would like to see for Fatal Fury? And see you on the next video, guys.
Burn it!